All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the Market Speculator with bullsonwallstreet.com. Today, we're going to talk about energy stocks, and oil. Let's start with USO, which is the energy ETF. And if we take a look at USO here, you can see it has been on an amazing run since last summer, has gone from about 9 to 14 here. Huge move. Oil is up over $70 a barrel and doesn't look to be stopping. So this is the overall trend. This is where we start with. Let's dig in a little closer now. And we can see here, we've come off a move from February from 11 all the way up to 14 now. We broke this recent high of about 1330 just a few weeks ago, and then the gap up, and now we've consolidated for a while. Now, what's really interesting here, I felt like the area was a little bit overbought and that we could wait for a pullback. And yesterday, it looked like we were going to get that. We got the heavy volume, probably related to the news in the Middle East. But then by the end of the day, it reacted well to that news and actually put in the hammer. And that was a really strong move that actually changed my thinking related to this space, that we don't need to wait for a big pullback, that we can enter here. And I almost entered yesterday, but did not, because as I record this, in about an hour and a half, we're going to get the oil inventories report. Every Wednesday, there's the oil inventory report, and we'll see price movements related to that. So I want to get that out of the way first, but oil is gapping up this morning and looks ready to run. We'll just have to wait an hour and see. But definitely you day traders can day trade around that. And then for swing, if it does hold this level after that report later on in the day, we could potentially enter today. So oil is looking very strong. Now, this is the underlying oil ETF, but when I trade, I don't use it because, as you can see, even this huge move is only 11 to 14. So I like to use the leveraged ETF, which is UWT, and you can see through that same period, we've moved from 23 to 36. So here we can get some really outsized gains because we get 3 times the leverage. Same exact pattern. We do our analysis based on USO, and then if we're going to enter, we enter UWT, and then we use our stops and our risk management based on UWT. So again, looking very strong. We want to see these levels hold. So if we get a close today above 38, I think that's a good thing. And we can potentially enter oil with a pretty loose stop, because there could be some back and forth, and you can see it has been volatile. So that's oil itself. Now let's talk about energy stocks that are related to oil. And we're going to start with XLE. You can see here also very strong. Now, it's lagged oil a little bit in the sense that it hasn't hit its highs, but it still has been very strong. So we have XLE here, very strong, similar pattern here, and we are gapping just like oil is. Now, to trade, we would use ERX here, and you can see same pattern. Now, we'd want this to hold, say, 37.50 for a potential entry, and we could trade the ETF, which is ERX. So we've got UWT on our list, we've got ERX on our list, and then we've got a bunch of stocks we can trade as well. And also pay attention to the volume pattern here, guys. Really strong as it moved up and has consolidated here. So these are all things we like. Now, let's look at some of the stocks. We've got MRO here. Very strong. Whenever I'm deciding between the ETF or the stocks, I want to see stocks that are actually doing better than the ETF, or why waste my time with the stock? And you can see MRO is showing relative strength. It has broke its high here, whereas ERX is not and XLE is not. So very strong. We've had a move from 14 to 20 and now looks ready to run again. And we're going to do the same analysis. We want to see the stock hold the level it's at right now. DVN also here. And notice I'm talking about holding these levels, but I'm not talking about actual setup triggers, because that's not really important right now. When an area starts moving and is showing relative strength and is showing momentum, while we have these overall patterns, we have a bottoming formation and a breakout and a trend move, we don't need the setup triggers like we do in specific types of entries. This is just momentum. We're trading the momentum. And we just want to see these levels hold. So same for DVN. It's almost the same pattern. 30 to 40. Now, relative strength-wise, it isn't as high, but it has made a bigger run since April. So I like DVN a lot. Hess You're going to see a lot of similar patterns here. Hess, relative strength. Not quite as volatile, but has moved from 48 to 60. Really strong. We could enter here. I think of the stocks I'm looking to trade, DVN and Hess are my favorites. Then we've got the big guy, ConocoPhillips, COP, is not going to be as volatile, but showing a lot of relative strength and is at highs right now. We could enter right here. PSX, we're going to see similar pattern here. RIG, similar pattern here. This is more of a low price stock for those of you who like to trade low priced stocks. And finally, DO, which has been one of my favorites, but has not been quite as volatile over the past few weeks after making this huge run here. But if I was going to take 2 or 3, it would be DVN, Hess, COP, if you want a big oil play, and then ERX or UWT. So that's what we're looking to do. Potentially we could enter today in oil, but keep oil on your radar.